If you're a real estate photographer and you make between $5,000 and $20,000 in monthly revenue, this video is gonna save you so much money. And the reason I know that is because not doing the things in my photography business that I'm about to share with you, really this one made thing, would have made me so much more money. I made so many mistakes. Like literally, I feel when I built my business as if I found every way that didn't work and finally stumbled upon the way that did work. And here I am 12 years later with a great business and a great team that has made millions of dollars in revenue, but it didn't have to take me 12 years. And so my hope is that this video will prevent you from making the biggest mistake you can possibly make, which is losing focus. And I know that sounds very basic and there's not a lot to that. And you may want to click out of this video, but just hang on a second. Like if you're in that 5K to 20K a month range, this video is for you. So what I see happen a lot, you start to build your real estate photography business, right? Maybe you're on the lower end of that, you're doing 5K a month, maybe you're somewhere in between, doesn't so much matter. You're starting to get to the point where you're getting some success as a real estate photographer. And with success, it's the most success you've ever had more than likely, and you're running into things that seem hard to move past. So maybe you're at 6K a month and it's just seemingly harder to get clients. Or there's another competitor in town that's scaring you. Or maybe you're at 15K a month and you're starting to say, I can't do this all myself. I need to hire somebody, but you don't think it's possible to hire somebody. And so the mistake is when people get to that point and their business is the biggest it's ever been, the tendency is to go, okay, I got to 10K a month and I really want to get my business to 20K a month. And so I think that the best way to get my business to 20K a month is to go, okay, I'm making 10K a month doing standard real estate media. And I wanna make 20, so I need to make another 10. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep doing the 10K standard real estate media, and I'm gonna add on website design or agent branding videos or anything else that you think kind of has a synergy to what you're doing. You're like, oh, I already have agents as clients. What else can I do for them? Because that's gonna be easier to get to 20K. And here's my experience with this. Having gone through this myself, done a lot of that, which I'm about to talk about, and then I want to talk with you about what I've seen other people do that leads them astray. So here was my experience with this. I got to that same range, somewhere around 15K a month. Aaron and I were working together at this point. We couldn't really do any more business ourselves, or so we thought. We were getting kind of maxed out. And so what I thought was going to be the easiest way to grow the business is to start, rather than figuring out how to hire with real estate photography, I was going to keep doing that. On the side, I was like, I could make $2,500 per website that I build. And so I started thinking, hey, website design was the best way to do this. I saw some successful website design companies. All the real estate agents that I saw didn't have great websites. And I was like, you know what? That's a good opportunity for me. So I started doing websites. And what I noticed is that when I started doing websites, my real estate photography business stopped doing as well. And on top of that, my my website design business wasn't doing that well either. I didn't learn my lesson, but I did decide websites were not right for me. And so I kept growing my business. I pushed past that 15K a month, was able to hire some people. I think it was really 18K when we hired. And then I grew my business to 30K and then around 30K a month. And then it started creeping in again. I'm like, you know what? I've got to 30K and I really want to get to 60. So the best way that I can do that is I'm going to start doing agent branding. Agents are horrible on social media the vast majority of the time. It's a lot of really easy things they could do to start getting leads from social media. Even back then when I was doing this 8 years ago, right? They're still not great at it today, but back then it even made more sense. I was like, that's a great opportunity. I know a little bit about social media, I'll do that. And so we're doing 30K a month and I once again divert my focus and I start working on social media and I get some agents, not saying it's impossible to build a business doing social media. It's not, there are plenty of great agencies that do that, but the same thing happened again. Is my real estate photography business growth would slow down. I'd put a bunch of time into this and it wasn't really what I wanted to do. I just kind of felt like it was required. And then I ended up saying, hey, that wasn't right for me. And I went back all in on my real estate photography business. And then I grew to 50K a month. And I kept doing this. There was a bunch of other little ones too. I almost partnered with a home stager at one point. So I'm trying to be this like great businessman, right? And I thought that 25K a month was a lot of money in revenue, right? Revenue, that's nothing, but it feels like a lot when it's the first time you've been there. And so I started thinking, I'm this great business person. What do great business people do? Well, they do a ton of stuff. And that's actually just not true. You'll see a lot of like locally famous business people who have like 9 businesses and that's like this proud thing that they have. And to me, when I see someone with 9 businesses, I just know that that person is kind of foolish, honestly. They say a focused fool can accomplish more than a distracted genius, and I think that's really true. So when you see that person that's got 9 businesses and their parents think they're cool and you think they're cool because like you barely have one and they have 9, just know that it's not a really good thing to run 9 businesses that don't do very well. It's a much better thing, in my opinion, a much more likely outcome to run one business that does really well. And so it took me forever to learn this lesson. I didn't realize how expensive focus was. When you divert your focus, you lose a lot of money. And so what the tendency is, you think you've maxed out and you think it's gonna be easier to do something else, but it's not gonna be. Because what you're comparing is you know a ton about the business you're in, real estate photography. Like relative to the average person, you know a lot. And so it seems hard because you have what's called informed pessimism. Like you know what you're gonna have to do to scale and that seems hard. And then you look at this new business and you're like, wow, that looks so easy and awesome because you don't know anything about it. It's blind optimism. So you have informed pessimism and you're comparing it to blind optimism and you're going, well, of course I want to do that new thing because it looks so easy and it never is. So anyway, you see that guy with 9 businesses that doesn't make any money. I tried to be that guy so many times because I thought that was the cool thing to do. So agent branding, like I said, home staging. I even went and partnered with, this is a real thing. I partnered with a landscaping company that was local in the town I lived in, Cleburne, Texas at the time. And it was a cool guy. He owned this like nursery with a bunch of plants and they did landscaping. And I was like, wait a second, okay, I could have this company that delivers the sign and lockbox to the agent's property, right? Because the agent has to bring a sign every time, they have to put a lockbox on the door. So we could do that. We could shoot the house. We could, before we shoot the house, a lot of homes need prep. So we could landscape a little bit. We could stage the inside of the house. We could get, like, I could be a full service home listing prep company. It sounds cool, right? Like you're probably excited, like, man, that'd be super cool to own that. Like you could see how I could trick myself into doing that. I'm not saying that's a bad idea. What I am saying is that your success rate to try to pull all of that off when you're new to business and you're not doing much, I mean, even 50, 100K a month, even 250K a month is a really small business in the scheme of businesses and how they go. So when you compare yourself to these big companies who do it all, they're doing literally billions of dollars in revenue, if not hundreds of millions a year. And that's why they're able to do a lot, because they're able to bring in a bunch of people. But they usually don't start that way. And so what I would encourage you to do, and the whole point of this video, is to resist the temptation to divert your focus. There's a quote I like that I think is a Naval Ravikant quote, but I'm not exactly sure. It's basically what you have to do is there's limited resources that you have. You have limited time, money, mental energy, whatever. You have to take those limited resources and there's an unlimited amount of opportunity, things that you could do with those resources. You have to figure out the best allocation. And that's what's gonna help you be successful. So what I would encourage you to do is once you're tasting some of that success, double down on what's gotten you here so far. Get more clients. You already know how to do real estate media. Maybe it's a new challenge. If you're doing 15K a month, you have to figure out how to hire somebody and it's gonna feel impossible and everything else is gonna look easier, but I promise you, you're gonna run into that same bottleneck with those other businesses. You're just gonna have to go backwards and all the way forward again. So when you feel that temptation to start something new, just remember in your head the phrase, it's not required. Like in order to build a $100,000 a month real estate media business, which my guess is bigger than where yours is, it is not required to do anything else. There are a lot of real estate media companies that make $50, $100, $250, $300,000 per month and even more. Maybe not a lot above 300,000, but I would imagine that's a whole heck of a lot farther in the future than you are now. And so just remember that phrase, it's not required. And so don't think, hey, because the competition did this or because this seems like a good opportunity, it is required for you to get to your goal. It is not. You can build a simple real estate media business, get it to 50 or 100K a month. And then maybe when you get to that phase, you have a team, you learn how to hire people, you have more money, then maybe look at other opportunities. But I would encourage you, even at that stage, to double down. It really is crazy how much focus can cost you if you do it wrong. So I hope this speaks to you. I hope it prevents you from making the literally hundreds of mistakes that I've made that have cost me probably millions of dollars in lost potential and at least hundreds of thousands of dollars in direct cost. You don't need to be like me, you can learn from me. So with that being said, we'd love to help you scale your real estate media business if that is your main focus. If you're already doing more than $5,000 a month, we have a program called Forward, which is where we pair you with a real estate photographer that's a full-time coach on our team that's built a business or is very experienced and can help you grow your business to the next level. We help people with our baseline program too, but I guess you're not in that stage. So anyway, there's a link below where you can apply. There's also a workshop that will talk to you more about scaling your real estate media business. And this workshop only makes sense to watch if you're already doing more than 5K a month. So you'll see my advanced workshop below and a link to talk with our team if you want our help scaling your business. I'll see you in the next video.